In a distributive negotiation, the parties see the pie as fixed. Think of two kids dividing a single chocolate bar. One gets a bigger slice only if the other gets a smaller slice. The goal is to claim the maximum share, and the tactics are often about pressure, threats, or making the other side think the price is non-negotiable. In an integrative negotiation, the pie can be expanded. Imagine two coworkers deciding how to share a project budget. By looking for complementary interests, one wants speed, the other wants quality, they can create a joint solution that gives both more than a simple split would. A key tool for both styles is the BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Quantifying BATNA means putting a dollar or other value on the next best option if talks fail. For example, a supplier's BATNA might be selling to a rival buyer for $100,000 per year. If the current buyer can only offer $90,000, the supplier's BATNA tells them to walk away. Managers should calculate BATNA as BATNA value equals expected outcome of alternative minus costs of pursuing alternative. If the BATNA value is higher than the offer on the table, the negotiator has strong leverage. If it is lower, they may need to make concessions or look for integrative opportunities to increase the overall value. Negotiation can be broken into 4 phases: preparation, information exchange, bargaining, and closure. A decision tree helps managers visualize choices and expected payoffs at each branch. Step 1. List decisions. In the bargaining phase, you might choose to make an aggressive opening offer, A, or a cooperative one, B. Step 2. Assign probabilities. Estimate the chance the counterpart accepts, counters, or walks away. Step 3. Compute payoffs. Use the formula. Payoff equals sigma of probability I times outcome I, where outcome I is the monetary or utility result of each possible response. Example, suppose a manager can offer a 5% discount, option A, or a 2% discount plus a service add-on, option B. Probabilities: acceptance 0.4 for A, 0.6 for B. Counter offer 0.5 for A, 0.3 for B. Walkaway 0.1 for A, 0.1 for B. Acceptance outcome: A equals $500,000 profit. B equals $480,000 profit plus $20,000 service value equals $500,000. Counter offer outcome: A equals $460,000. B equals $470,000. Walkaway outcome: A equals $0. B equals $0. Payoff: A equals 0.4 times 500,000 plus 0.5 times 460,000 plus 0.1 times 0 equals $478,000. Payoff: B equals 0.6 times 500,000 plus 0.3 times 470,000 plus 0.1 times 0 equals $483,000. The tree shows option B yields a higher expected payoff, guiding the manager's choice. The same structure can be expanded to multi-round negotiations, showing how early concessions affect later probabilities and outcomes. The zone of possible agreement, ZOPA, is the overlap between what the buyer is willing to pay and what the seller is willing to accept. R sub B equals the buyer's reservation price, the maximum they will pay. R sub S equals the seller's reservation price, the minimum they will accept. If R sub B is greater than or equal to R sub S, then ZOPA exists and is the interval from R sub S to R sub B. Reservation price is the point where a party is indifferent between signing a deal or walking away. It can be expressed as reservation price equals BATMA value minus risk premium minus opportunity cost, where BATMA stands for best alternative to a managed agreement, the value of the next best deal the party can secure. A company wants to buy a piece of equipment. Their BATMA is leasing a similar machine for $120,000 per year, with a risk premium of $5,000 and an opportunity cost of $10,000. Their reservation price equals $120,000 minus $5,000 minus $10,000, which equals $105,000. The seller's minimum acceptable price, or reservation, is $95,000. Since $105,000 is greater than or equal to $95,000, ZOPA equals the interval from $95,000 to $105,000. The final price will fall somewhere in that range, depending on bargaining power and information. Game theory treats negotiation as a strategic game where each player's choice influences the other's payoff. The prisoner's dilemma shows why two rational parties might end up with a worse outcome if they both act selfishly. In negotiation, this appears as a win-lose stance. If both sides hold firm defect, each gets a small gain. If one cooperates while the other defects, the defector gets a large gain and the cooperator gets very little. If both cooperate, both receive a moderate gain. The Nash equilibrium is a set of strategies where no player can improve their payoff by unilaterally changing their choice. In a simple price negotiation, the equilibrium may be the price where each side's marginal benefit of moving further equals the marginal cost of losing the deal. Example, two firms bidding for a contract can submit a low bid, L, or a high bid, H. Payoff matrix in thousands of dollars. Low yields 4-4, both win small profit. Low-high yields 6-2, low bidder wins big profit, high bidder gets nothing. A high-low yields 2-6. High yields 0-0, no contract awarded. The Nash equilibrium is low-low because if either firm switches to high while the other stays at low, they get 0 instead of 4. This illustrates why competitive negotiations often settle at lower prices. Each party tries to avoid the worst outcome, 0. Understanding these concepts helps managers design incentives, for example joint venture agreements, that move the game from a prisoner's dilemma toward a cooperative win-win equilibrium. Power in negotiation comes from several sources. Number 1, legitimate power, also called positional power, is authority or formal rank. Number 2, reward power, is the ability to give benefits. Number 3, coercive power, is the ability to impose costs. Number 4, expert power, is knowledge or expertise. Number 5, referent power, is charisma or relationship strength. To quantify influence, managers can use a power index similar to the Shapley value in cooperative game theory. Suppose a negotiation team consists of members A, B, and C with marginal contributions V of S, the value the coalition S can achieve. Phi I equals the sum over all subsets S of n without I of S factorial times n minus S minus 1 factorial divided by n factorial, multiplied by V of S union I minus V of S, where n is the set of all members. The index tells you how much each member adds on average across all possible coalitions, turning qualitative power sources into a numeric score that can be compared and balanced. Practical use: if a senior manager who has expert and legitimate power has phi equal to 0.55, a finance analyst who has expert power has phi equal to 0.3, and a junior associate who has referent power has phi equal to 0.15, the team can allocate speaking order or decision weight proportional to these scores, ensuring the negotiation leverages each person's true influence. Anchoring is the cognitive bias, where the first number mentioned sets a mental reference point. In negotiation, an opening offer acts as an anchor and pulls subsequent counter offers toward it. Research shows an anchor can shift the final settlement by about 10 to 15% of the anchor distance. Concession patterns describe how parties gradually move toward each other. A common model is the logarithmic concession curve. Offer sub t equals anchor times e to the minus kt. Where offer sub t is the offer at round t, anchor is the initial offer, and k is the concession rate. Higher k equals faster concessions. Example, a buyer starts with a $1 million price anchor. If the seller concedes at k equals 0.2 per round, after 3 rounds the offer becomes offer sub 3 equals $1 million times e to the minus 0.2 times 3, approximately $1 million times e to the minus 0.6, approximately $548,800. If the buyer had anchored lower, say $800,000, the same concession rate would lead to a final offer of $438,400, showing how anchoring directly affects the settlement floor. Managers can plan the size and timing of concessions by adjusting K to balance speed, higher K, against perceived fairness, lower K. Culture shapes how people negotiate. Hofstede's dimensions, power distance, individualism, masculinity, uncertainty avoidance, long-term orientation, indulgence, can be turned into weighting factors that modify negotiation tactics. Suppose a manager assigns a weight W sub D to each dimension D based on the counterpart's country scores, scaled from 0 to 1. The Adjusted Negotiation Flexibility Index, NFI, can be calculated as NFI equals the sum over D of W sub D times impact sub D, where impact sub D reflects how strongly that dimension influences openness to compromise. For example, high uncertainty avoidance leads to lower flexibility, so impact UA equals -0.3. Illustration: negotiating with a German firm, high uncertainty avoidance equals 0.9, high masculinity equals 0.8, versus a Brazilian firm, low uncertainty avoidance equals 0.3, high indulgence equals 0.7. Using arbitrary impacts, impact UA equals -0.4, impact MA equals -0.2, impact IN equals +0.2. Germany, NF, I equals 0.9 times -0.4 plus 0.8 times -0.2 equals -0.36 minus 0.16 equals -0.52, more rigid, need detailed contracts, slower concessions. Brazil, NF, I equals 0.3 times -0.4 plus 0.7 times +0.2 equals -0.12 plus 0.14 equals +0.02, more flexible, informal style. Managers can adapt their approach, use precise, formal proposals with German partners, and a more relational, informal style with Brazilian partners. The weighting formula makes cultural adjustments systematic rather than anecdotal. Explanation: negotiations must obey ethical standards such as fairness and honesty, and legal constraints such as antitrust and labor law. A cost-benefit analysis helps managers decide whether a risky tactic is worth it. Define. CE equals expected ethical cost, reputation loss, employee turnover measured in dollars. CL equals expected legal cost, fines, litigation measured in dollars. B equals expected benefit, extra profit, market share from the tactic. The net expected value, NAV, is NAV equals B minus the sum of CA and CL. If NAV is greater than 0, the tactic may be justified. If NAV is less than or equal to 0, it should be avoided. Real-world example: a company considers using a pay-for-delay agreement to block a generic drug. The projected extra profit, B, equals $30 million. Anticipated legal fine, CL, equals $25 million based on recent case precedents. Ethical cost, CE, brand damage, is estimated at $10 million. NEV equals 30 minus the sum of 25 and 10 equals -$5 million, indicating the tactic is not worthwhile. Beyond numbers, managers should embed a decision checklist. Does the action violate any law? Does it breach the company's code of conduct? Will it harm stakeholder trust? By quantifying potential costs and pairing them with a moral review, managers can make disciplined, responsible negotiation choices.